final artist of Bright Walls, the finale from France, Youri Cansell. Welcome.
Well, my pleasure, Bart. Thanks for hosting me here.
Or bienvenue.
Merci beaucoup.
The final artist of Bright Walls, what a great distinction that is. That's pretty cool.
It is instead, yeah. It's kind of unexpected that I used to be the last one, but it is what it is. So we're making history today.
It's a function of fate because you were on the program.
Correct.
You were planned to be here early September. Yeah. What happened?
I mean, sometimes the things happen for a reason, and who knows? Maybe the plan I used to take wasn't the right one, or no. I just arrived late because of administrative delays, but I'm here and already started yesterday.
Yeah, and it's on the side of the building called the Lucent Associates building on Mechanic Street. And on the other side of the building is what everyone calls the chrome dog, big yellow dog, and this is
from Biquismo, yeah, from Puerto Rico.
Do you know him?
Yeah, we already met. He's
a
good person, yeah.
It's an interesting community of mural artists. You have...
yeah, as any field, we can always make a relation with, can be more familiar for most of people, like with music or sports in general. When you go to an international way of, you mostly connect with the person that are on the same path, or they go in the same direction. So
sure.
It always, even I'll say it's a massive movement. We're getting closer and closer to a small family at the end.
Yeah, a fraternity. Now, this is how I first saw you yesterday, and I was afraid to approach you because you look pretty scary there, pretty serious. Do not approach, do not talk to me. But I found you to be very friendly, and I appreciate that.
So sometimes our first see that we can have, I'll say it. It's not even the right impression, but the first one can always evolve to another impression.
Yes. Now, wearing the helmet and the goggles, that's part of that's your signature. I looked at some of the other photos at other mural festivals or other installations you've done, and you're wearing that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wearing it because it's helpful, first of all. Then I'll say I never used as to disguise myself and to enter in a role. Like it used to be my tool to make a distinction from the path. But no, it's just turned natural using that because when you paint murals, you mostly work with other workers that are working from other fields. And basically everybody owns, I'll say it here, helmets, yellow jacket, harness, lanyard, because it's part of our process, So basically I'm just working that way because I thought it should be the one for me. But it became a signature because most of my colleagues, they choose a different way of working, which is also really respectful,
And that's another signature of yours, the subjects, and butterflies, insects. That seems to be your favorite subject.
It's a mantra. Like my name became, I'll say it, made a lot of sense as I repeated many things in my career, and so I developed and built my own mantras that I'm able to repeat or not, depends on my personal mood, what I'm supposed to paint on the next project, and what I want also to define as the right answer for the site I'm supposed to paint. Because after I be painting, it's always something that I leave behind me that's gonna stays in the corner, the neighborhood, the city, or the state. Depends on how impactful, how can the impact can be from the mural I'm gonna leave behind me. So it's a subject, of course, butterflies, insect, and the living in general that came back a lot in my work, because it's a natural thing that I had in me and developed while I was a child, just to say naturally that what happened in my life is that as a young boy in 97 and before and after, but when I was really young, I was mesmerized by the living, and my only dream in life was to become a naturalist. So following the path of people in history like Darwin, or, you know, with a sense of curiosity and exploration really vivid, you know, that was really active. And I wasn't really into like asking my family, hey, can I just go to basketball or football, or trying to learn how to play music. I was most on my free time next to the school, because you have a bunch of free time as a young child. I was just asking to be out and explore my surrounding. So as a painter, self-taught, even if I went through for a short period of time in my life, after high school I went to fine arts in France. And as I haven't found what I wanted, I just had to learn how to paint by myself.
Really?
So that's how I connected with who I am and what I'm supposed to spread to the world. So those topics that became mantras that I repeated during the years came naturally from my own person that I built through the years, and what my, I think, curiosity really developed, and basically what I was sensitive to.
So you could have gone the other direction, science instead of art. You could have been an entomologist,
Mm-hmm.
but why didn't you go that way?
I think we can't make a generality out of it, because every person owns his own path, and you have many events that can happen in a life. I think what happened for me is that I was born and raised in the city center. Then when I was a young child, my family moved to the suburbs, and mostly next to the countryside. So I get really closer in what I had, where I had a bunch of opportunities and time to develop what I just said. But as a teenager and going to high school, which was downtown, I came back and I had mostly urban lifestyle as a teenager. So getting into the skateball culture, and after this one, the graffiti culture, who are really connected, because you sort of taking something out of it and playing with the urban landscape. So my mind was more focused as a teenager becoming an adult to develop my own personality in the city, which that's how slowly flew away. Is that correct in English? My child dreams, but actually, as I just turned 35, on the last years, on the side of my painter activity, I'm working in conservancy and sharing a lot of time with scientists, biologists, forest keepers, rangers that are working on fields to study, I'll say, the living and butterflies instead, or that are really trying to conserve and protect some environments.
Awesome.
And some ecosystems. So to make a long story short, because of the decision that I made and sort of happened in my life when I, from a teenager, becoming an adult, right now as an adult, I'm able to find another way to connect both, or my wishes that as a teenager I wanted to be active and paint, and trying to find my place inside this society.
Based on what I've seen of your work, art, you had to go that way. I mean, you have that. Sure, you went to art school, but you have the talent. It's innate. I believe, and just looking at your paintings, it's clear. You can't teach someone how to paint what you've painted. And in particular, there's a couple that I want to look at. There was one that looks like it's got butterflies in a glass case, and that's a painting that's on a wall. And I think this is in
city of Little Rock.
Yes.
Painted 2 years ago. It was while the presidential elections that I was in the U.S. painting this mural. Yeah.
So you can see it looks like there's glass. It's even got some cracks in it, which is amazing. It does. It looks like an actual glass case of mounted butterflies.
Thank you.
I don't know how you do it. And
so just a short story behind this mural. There's 9 butterflies that connect with historically the 9 from Little Rock. If you're familiar or not with this story, the students that raised again the segregation in the city of Little Rock. So that like a symbolic connection with what happened historically in this region in Arkansas and in the city of Little Rock. So the title of this wall is The 9.
The 9, the sit-in students. Now, you're painting a butterfly, and interestingly to me is a lot of your butterflies that you paint, they're dead.
Or not. They
or
painted.
Not. They look like they are mounted, but...
Yeah. Sometimes it's a good example, because if we follow the reality of is it a real object or not, what we are just facing, we have a bunch of butterfly that looks like paint, but the broken glass reminds us that one moth, the main one, the Luna, it's on top of the glass.
It can still breathe.
So it's maybe some moth that just stands and it's alive, but it's just at the right place at the right time to complete the missing collection.
So here in Jackson, you chose to paint a butterfly, and you told me yesterday that the butterfly you chose to paint was a butterfly that's in Jackson.
Correct. That can be found in this part of Northern America. So in this case, if I remember well in English, it's a red purple spotted or red spotted purple. Excuse my English, but yeah, people will be able to appreciate it in the backyard or on any trails that they're able to walk through during spring and next summer, I hope.
Well, I am not familiar with the butterfly. Can we look at the wall that is currently being painted by Youri? The actual, yeah. So, and I did see on your scaffold a drawing of, and it was red. So I knew, or rouge. So I knew it was going to be some sort of red butterfly, but I couldn't find a red butterfly.
Because it's not red. It's a red purple, but in fact it's a main blue one. That sometimes the names are tricky, or maybe I pronounced badly, and it was a blue, red, purple spotted butterfly.
Okay.
But in English, those names are pretty just. I'll say, it's a combination of the main different color that can be seen in the butterfly, and that's how they made a name out of it. In French, we have different way to tell the same. Basically, the one that is, I'll say it, universal, it's the monarch, because in French it's un papillon monarque, es una monarca in español. So somehow you have butterflies that are universal with the same name, but this one changed, so sometimes.
Well, the monarch is the most common butterfly around here too. Now, will this be trompe l'oeil as well? Will there be some, I guess, some magic to it that, like the cracked glass?
Who knows?
Okay.
It's gonna be a surprise. But for sure, what we are witnessing right now is only the first step. I was sketching and priming inside my sketch, as I want to conserve the sort of the history of the building, and it was some written and painted letters that remained, even they're fading away. So I want to also conserve this information, as I love to make that butterfly just standing on the wall like nobody painted on it.
I'm glad you're doing that. There were people that were hopeful that that part of the bank ad was going to be there forever, and it is. It's going to still be visible,
Of course.
behind the butterfly, the red,
Yeah.
purple, spotted
Or
red.
maybe the blue, red, purple.
Well, I sure appreciate you coming over today.
My pleasure.
Sorry about the rain, but that just means you're going to spend more time in Jackson.
Who knows? I'll painting even faster.
Well, don't speed it up. Take your time.
I will.
All right. Thank you very much, Youri.
My pleasure, Bart. Thanks for inviting me here.
Artist mantra, Youri Cansell. The Bright Walls